Molly, Molly, where are you?
Doing all the work, you brute.
Oh, there you are. Leave it all to me. Shall I stoke the aga?
Done.
Hello, sweetheart. Ooh, your nose is cold.
Just come in.
Why? Where have you been? Surely you've not been out in this weather.
I had to go down to the village for some stuff I'd forgotten. Did you get the chicken netting?
It wasn't the right kind. I went on to another dump, but that wasn't any good either. Practically a whole day wasted. My God, I'm half frozen. The car was skidding like anything. Snow's coming down thick. What do you bet we're not snowed in tomorrow?
Oh dear, I hope not. If only the pipes don't freeze.
We'll have to keep the central heating well stoked up. Not too good. I wish they'd send the coke along. We've not got any too much.
Oh, I do so want everything to go well at first. First impressions are so important.
Is everything ready? Nobody's arrived yet, I suppose.
No, thank goodness. I think everything's in order. Miss Barlow's hooked it early, afraid of the weather, I suppose.
What a nuisance these daily women are. Leaves everything on your shoulders.
And yours. This is a partnership.
So long as you don't ask me to cook.
No, that's my department. Anyway, we've lots of tins in case we are snowed up. Giles, do you think it's going to be all right?
Got cold feet, have you? Are you sorry now we didn't sell the place when your aunt left it to you, instead of having this mad idea of running it as a guest house?
No, I'm not. I love it. And talking of guest house, look at that!
Pretty good. What?
It's a disaster! Don't you see? You left out the S. Monkwell instead of Monkswell.
Good Lord, so I did. However, did I come to that? But doesn't really matter, does it? Monkwell is just as good a name.
You're in disgrace. Go and stoke the central heating.
Across that icy yard? Oh, shall I bank it up for the night now?
No, you don't do that until 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
How appalling.
Hurry up, someone may arrive at any minute now.
You've got all the rooms worked out?
Yes. Mrs. Boyle, front four-poster room. Major Metcalf, blue room. Miss Casewell, east room. Mr. Wren, oak room.
I wonder what all these people will be like. Oughtn't we have to got rent in advance?
Oh no, I don't think so.
We'd rather mugs at this game.
They bring luggage. If they don't pay, we hang on to their luggage. It's quite simple.
I can't help thinking we ought to have taken a correspondence course in hotel keeping. We're sure to get had in some way. Their luggage might be just bricks wrapped up in newspaper, and where would we be then?
They all wrote from very good addresses.
That's what servants with forged references do. Some of these people may have maybe criminals hiding from the police.
I don't care what they are, so long as they pay 7 guineas every week.
You're such a wonderful woman of business, Molly. Oh yes, Miss Ralston, that's a very wide field. There's yourself, for instance.
Me?
You're about the right age. No. Whatever you tell me about yourself, I've got no means of checking it at this moment. Remember. And then there's your husband.
Giles, how ridiculous!
He and Christopher Wren are much of an age. Say your husband looks older than his years and Christopher Wren looks younger. Actual age is very hard to tell. How much do you know about your husband, Miss Ralston?
How much do I know about Giles? Oh, don't be silly.
You've been married how long?
Just a year.
And you met him where?
At a dance in London. We went in a party.
Did you meet his people?
He hasn't any people. They're all dead.
They're all dead?
Yes, but oh, you make it sound all wrong. His father was a barrister and his mother died when he was a baby.
You're only telling me what he told you.
Yes, but...
You don't know it of your own knowledge.
This is outrageous that...
You'd be surprised, Miss Ralston, if you knew how many cases rather like yours we get, especially since the war. Homes broken up, families dead, fellow says he's been in the Air Force or just finished his army training, parents killed, no relations. There aren't any backgrounds nowadays, and young people settle their own affairs. They meet and marry. It's parents and relatives who used to make the inquiries before they consented to an engagement. They're all done away with. Girl just marries her man. Sometimes she doesn't even find out for a year or two that he's an absconding bank clerk or an army deserter or something equally undesirable. How long have you known Giles Ralston before you married him?
Just 3 weeks, but...
And you don't know anything about him?
That's not true! I know everything about him. I know exactly the sort of person he is. He's Giles. And it's absolutely absurd to suggest he's some horrible, crazy, homicidal maniac. But he wasn't even in London yesterday when the murder took place.
Where was he then? Here?
He went cross-country to a sale to get some wire netting for our chickens.
Bring it back with him?
No, it turned out to be the wrong kind.
Only 30 miles from London, aren't you? Oh, you got an ABC. Only an hour by train, a little longer by car.
I tell you, Giles wasn't in London.
Just a minute, Miss Ralston. This your husband's coat?
Yes.
Evening News, yesterday's. Sold on the streets at about 3:30 yesterday afternoon.
I don't believe it.
Don't you? Don't you? What is all this, Molly? You must be crazy, perfectly prepared to shut yourself up in the kitchen with a homicidal maniac.
He isn't.
You've only got to look at him to see he's barmy.
He isn't. He's just unhappy. I tell you, Giles, he isn't dangerous. I'd know if he was dangerous, and anyway, I can look after myself.
That's what Miss Boyle said.
Giles, don't!
Look here. What is there between you and that wretched boy?
What do you mean between us? I'm sorry for him, that's all.
Perhaps you met him before. Perhaps you suggested to him to come here and you both pretend to meet for the first time. All cooked up between you, was it?
Giles, have you gone out of your mind? How dare you suggest these things?
Rather odd, isn't it, that he should come and stay at an out-of-the-way place like this?
No odder than that Miss Casewell and Major Metcalf and Mrs. Boyle should.
I read once in a paper that these homicidal cases were able to attract women. Looks as though it were true. Where did you first know him? How long has this been going on?
You're being absolutely ridiculous. I never set eyes on Christopher Wren until he arrived yesterday.
Well, that's what you say. Perhaps you've been running up to London to meet him on the sly.
You know perfectly well that I haven't been up to London for weeks.
You haven't been up to London for weeks? Is that so?
What on earth do you mean? It is quite true.
Is it? Then what's this? This is one of the gloves you were wearing yesterday. You dropped it. I picked it up this afternoon when I was talking to Sergeant Trotter. You see what's inside it? A London bus ticket.
Dad!
So it seems that you didn't only go to the village yesterday, you went to London as well.
All right, I went to...
Whilst I was safely away racing around the countryside.
Whilst you were racing around the countryside?
Come on now, admit it. You went to London.
All right. I went to London. So did you.
What?
So did you. You brought back an evening paper.
Where did you get hold of that?
It was in your overcoat pocket.
Anyone could have put it in there.
Did they? No, you were in London.
All right, yes, I was in London. I didn't go to meet a woman there.
Didn't you? You are sure you didn't?
Hey, what do you mean?
Go away. Don't come near me.
What's the matter?
Don't touch me.
Did you go to London yesterday to meet Christopher Wren?
Don't be a fool. Of course I didn't.
Then why did you go?
I shan't tell you that. Perhaps now I've forgotten why I went.
Molly, what's come over you? You're different all of a sudden. I feel as I don't know you anymore.
Perhaps you never did know me. We've been married how long? A year? But you don't really know anything about me. What I've done or thought or felt or suffered before you knew me.
Molly, you're crazy.
All right then, I'm crazy. Why not? Perhaps it's fun to be crazy.
Miss Ralston.
Yes, what is it? You're looking very pleased with yourself. Have you got what you wanted?
I got exactly what I wanted.
You know who the murderer is?
Yes, I know.
Which of them?
You ought to know, Miss Ralston.
I?
Yes, you've been extraordinarily foolish, you know. You run a very good chance of being killed by holding out on me. As a result, you've been in serious danger more than once.
I don't know what you mean.
Come on now, Miss Ralston. We policemen aren't quite as dumb as you think. All along, I've realized that you've had first-hand knowledge of the Longbridge Farm affair. You knew Miss Boyle was the magistrate concerned. In fact, you knew all about it. Why didn't you speak up and say so?
I don't understand. I wanted to forget.
Your maiden name was Waring?
Yes.
Miss Waring, you taught school, in the school where those children went.
Yes.
It's true, isn't it, that Jimmy, the child who died, managed to get a letter posted to you? The letter begged for help. Help from his kind young teacher. You never answered that letter.
I couldn't. I never got it.
You just didn't bother.
That's not true. I was ill. I went down with pneumonia that very day. The letter was put aside with others. It was weeks afterwards that I found it with a lot of other letters. And by then that poor child was dead. Dead. Dead, waiting for me to do something, hoping, gradually losing hope. Oh, it's haunted me ever since. If only I hadn't been ill, if only I'd known. It's monstrous that such things should happen.
Yes, it's monstrous.
I thought police didn't carry revolvers.
The police don't. I'm not a policeman, Miss Ralston. You thought I was a policeman because I rang up from a call box and said I was speaking from police headquarters and that Sergeant Trotter was on his way. I cut the telephone wires before I came to the front door. You know who I am, Miss Ralston? I'm Georgie. I'm Jimmy's brother, Georgie.
Oh!
You better not scream, Miss Ralston, because if you do, I shall fire this revolver. I'd like to talk to you a little. Jimmy died. The nasty, cruel woman killed him. They put her in prison. Prison wasn't bad enough for her. I said I'd kill her one day. I did too. In the fog. It was great fun. I hope Jimmy knows I'll kill them all when I grow up. That's what I said to myself, because grown-ups can do anything they like. I'm going to kill you in a minute.
You better not. You'll never get away safely, you know?
Someone's hidden my skis. I can't find them, but what does it matter? I don't really mind if I get away or not. I'm tired. It's all been such fun, watching you all and pretending to be a policeman.
That revolver will make a lot of noise.
It will, rather, but much better do it the usual way and take you by the neck. The last little mouse in the trap.